Alright, so these fit incredibly tight as it is. I just added a little dab of Tight Bond 3, and we'll see how this works. Probably going to break a couple of these forcing them in there, but oh well. I'm down here doing this on the ground or on the floor because it's a concrete floor underneath this ceramic tile, and I don't have an incredibly stable workbench to be pounding this down, so. Alright, that's done. That's well, that's one of them. Alright, so the glue's all set up in these, and it turned out alright, but what I want to do, like I said, I want to put a 30-degree chamfer on all the edges. And to do so, I'm just going to use my miter slot, blade tilt at 30, or my miter gauge rather, and I've got a little bit of a problem because I cut all these with a stop block, but you know, getting all the grooves to line up, there's a lot of room for error and a lot of room for a little bit of changes here and there. So if you can see, I'm exaggerating. Anyway, this one's pivoting on that middle section, so I gotta figure out a way to make these a nice uniform cut with every single piece, and as of right now I don't know if I can do that, so I think I'm just gonna make a couple of test cuts and see if I can't just hold it in place and see how that goes. Okay, my miter gauge didn't work out like I hoped. There's just a little bit of wiggle in here, and I just didn't like the way it looked, because the first piece entering the blade is never, on both sides, was never the same as the last piece. So I'd have to adjust it by hand to get it to work. Anyway, I've got an old small sled that I used to use, and I think I'm just going to, I haven't used this thing in forever, so I think I'm just going to start cutting it off right here and see how that works. Alright, so my markings are no longer relevant, but now I have a zero clearance 30-degree bevel on this particular sled. So like I said, I made this a long time ago, and I made it for one particular job. It served its purpose, and I never used it since. So repurposing old jigs. But anyway, now I'm gonna run all these through and see what we get. The way I cut my first lower elevation cuts is I just struck a 90-degree line here, and I just eyeballed it and made my cut. Because this is zero clearance, I can look down at the piece and I can tell if I need to slightly adjust one way or slightly adjust more into the blade. And my objective was just to make one side look like the other side. I don't care if they all look the same throughout the set or whatever, but you know, it's all going to be fairly similar. To cut my higher elevation pieces, no need to adjust the blade or anything. All I need to do really is take the piece slightly more into the blade so that my shoulder on the lower elevations is the same as the shoulder on the higher elevations. It's just sneaking up to it, is all there is to it, and each one's going to be different, so this should work out just fine. So of the 9, I had 2 that died on me. This one split open like so. And this one had a little bit of a chip out. Just a little bit of chip out. You see that? Yeah, just a little bit of chip out. So, I don't know, these 2 are going to be decorative wall art for the shop. And like I said, I've got some more scrap cut-offs that'll be good for veneering. And I've got 7 that turned out pretty good. So, kind of happy with this little project. I'm going to touch them all up with some small sandpaper, just to get rid of all the, the little tear out and small stuff. And after that, I'm going to, I guess I'm going to soak them in some mineral oil. Got them all nice and sanded, and I used my the sharpest chisel I had and my little sanding pad to get all the corners. And this job has really turned out, or this project has really turned out to be a lot of work. So, just the design, I guess, of it just creates so much little stuff here and there. But work never hurt anybody. Sure does make your hands sore, though. So, time for some oil. Alright, just to seal these up, I'm using mineral oil again. I took an entire bottle and dumped it in this baking pan, and I've got it set on these scraps so it's leaning towards me just a little bit. And all I'm doing is just soaking the end grain first, and then submerging it in the oil. Make sure the entire surface is coated, and then just stack them on the next one. They will continue to drain and weave down, and the oil will keep coming to me, and I'll just keep putting it on. Alright, so this is the last one. I'm going to let these soak the way they are, I don't know, for a couple hours or so, and then I'm just going to complete the process one more time, just to seal these up. Alright, so it's been a little while, a couple hours, and I'm just going to soak them again and let them and just let them sit for a little while. After that, I'm going to wipe all this mess off, so that'll be fun. Most of this stuff, because it was so soaked to begin with, absorbed all it can absorb. But some of these have some dry spots that I just want to hit again, so that's the only reason I'm doing this twice. So if you're wondering why I have a stove in my shop, go back and watch my shop tour video. But anyway, this is where I store all my old projects, such as cutting boards and whatnot. Store them in there. That way I don't get any dust on them. So, bet you've never seen that. Wood storage in a stove. But anyway, that's unplugged, by the way, so there's no electricity to it. I've got my Trivets sitting above this pan. I put these little poplar scants on there just to allow the oil to drip down in there, and they've been dripping for, I don't know, about 2 hours. So it's been about 4 or 5 hours since my original first coat on it, so it's time to just wipe these off and see what we get. Here they are, all completed. Each one is unique from the next. I just took a paper towel and wiped them all down. They're still kind of oily, but that'll dry. Very pleased with this. Again, just using some scraps from the Trash to Treasure videos. So I like the profile, I like the shape. It all turned out well. Each one has some flaws, but who cares? Some of these have some nice looking grain to them, and the oak, of course, predominant grain, so looks pretty neat. But anywho, I think they turned out alright. So yeah, trash to treasure. This was, you know, a series of different things I've taken apart, using up some scrap. Hope you like it. Hope you've enjoyed. If you like what you see, like and subscribe. And just to be honest with you, I've never heard of a trivet until I saw Laney from A Simple Design of Ocala. He made some trivets on a router table not too long ago. I'll put the link in the description, but that's the first time I heard the name trivet. So, learn something new every day. YouTube's pretty cool. But, yeah, like I said, if you like what you see, like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and you guys have a great day.